Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Motivational Moments. I'm Rosa Smith-Montanero, Training and Workshop Coordinator with RochesterWorks. We go live each week with you to share a different motivational moment, and we're excited to do that. So you'll see me on Tuesday mornings, usually short, sweet, 10 minutes or less, chat about something to get you going for that week, keep you on track, and help you to be effective in your career transition, your job search, you're starting your own small business, whatever it is for you where you're at in this stage of your wonderful life, this wonderful journey that we call life. So I thought I'd talk to you today about communication and the importance of how we communicate. And one thing I've found in all the various roles that I've interacted with and individuals that I've worked with is a big part of the stress in our lives, especially in the workplace, is due to maybe communication breakdown or to strained relationships. People leave jobs because they don't like the relationships they have. People seek to work somewhere because they want to be part of a community and feel like they belong. And those are all relationship dependent. And so think about the role of relationships in your life and the quality of communication that you have in those relationships. And I'm going to share something with you that I learned years ago, I'm dating myself, but hey, it's closer to 3 decades ago. And that was when I was being trained in neurolinguistics programming. And one of the rules of neurolinguistics programming is that you have to own communication, that you have to be responsible for the communication, the level of communication that occurs. And what I mean by that is, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and it's not flowing well, or they have a very different style than I have, the most flexible person when it comes to communicating actually has the most success in their relationships. I'm going to repeat that. The most flexible person when it comes to communicating is actually the one who has the most success in their relationships. And that's because they're not being stuck on one way of communicating, right? And how that translates is when you're having a conversation with somebody and maybe they're a little more direct. We don't react to the directness. We might adapt to the directness. We'll be a little more direct with them. We find ways to align with them and communicate in their style. Rather than react to their style, we respond to their style. And we align with their style. And that helps people to hear us, because people are more receptive to people they relate to. And so when you align with somebody, you're being respectful to their communication style. So there's 3 little tips I'm going to share with you that I've found very effective in communicating. And I can tell you that before I share these 3 tips with you, that over the years, I've worked alongside many, many people in very different environments. And one of the things I've noticed is how people have power struggles. And I've watched the dynamics of the power struggle. And typically, both people walk away quite frustrated. Although one person may have gotten their way and someone else didn't. Where when I'm communicating in those same dynamics with those same individuals who are known for having power struggles, we walk away both feeling like this was mutually beneficial and very pleased to continue and look forward to working together again. And my counterparts, my colleagues would say, I don't know how you do that, but I need to do more of that, because it isn't fulfilling for them to feel like they're having a power struggle. And there's 3 things that I consistently do, and I learned, like I said, this years ago in my training, and I'm going to share those 3 things with you. This is something that I'm going to ask you to think about as you're interviewing, or where you work, or even where you live, with the relationships you have when you're communicating. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to think about is when someone says something, and you have to work through this. First, stop and look for the positive intention that's behind what they're ultimately saying. Everyone is operating from some kind of positive desire. maybe to make the place better. They really believe that what they're asking for, what they're doing in some way, shape, or form, some level, is going to be a benefit to someone, even if it's to themselves, right? Even if it's for their own survival. But if we stop and we look for what's the positive underlying motive here for them. And it could be, I don't want to see people get laid off. I don't want to see individuals disappointed. I don't want the company to lose money. I don't want myself to look like I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just making some of these scenarios up, but I've seen them. And somebody might maybe seem a little more demanding. And I might look at that conversation and think, what is the positive intent behind this? And if I think, well, they just don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing. They want to look and act in a way that they know they're being respected by other people when they conduct themselves. I can respect that. And here's what happens. Once we've relating to that positive intent, even if you don't relate to it, I shouldn't say relate. Once you've identified it, now we align. We align with that. What I mean by align is how can you help them get what they need? Right? What needs to happen for them to feel like what they want right now? You're on the same side. We're aligning. We're side by side. We're not going back and forth. It's side by side. So without even, you don't have to call it out. You could say, I see that you have an intent. Your integrity means a lot to you, and that you really care deeply about the quality of work you do, and I want to help you with that. And here's what I'm suggesting, or how can we do that together? And people will, when you align, they soften up, right? And they want to be more receptive. Their curiosity gets a little higher, the cooperation gets higher, and the resistance goes down. So we've identified the positive intention for them. We align. And then the third piece is we speak their language. Very important to speak someone else's language. It could be non-verbally. As you can see, I move my hands when I talk, right? I get expressive. I get excited. I'm trying to keep my motivation manageable right now because I'm in a crowded space. There's other people around me. If I were me in a big room by myself, I'd be projecting my voice. I'd be standing up and down, really getting passionate, right? You would match maybe not necessarily that, but even smiling. Even using some of the same tonality. Even some of the words. When you speak someone's language, they immediately are calmed. It does something to our nervous system. It soothes the nervous system. So adapt to someone else's language, tonality, maybe even pace of speech. And when you do those three things, you'll see that people are so much more cooperative. You'll have a better form of communication. And it contributes to the success of a long-term relationship. You see, relationships aren't always going to be perfect, right? We don't always agree. People have moments where they're tense, and people have moments that are effortless, and everything in between. And if we look at relationships as a long-term, long haul, we're in this for the long haul together, that hopefully will help you to be motivated, to be better at communicating, more flexible, more adaptable. And I'll throw in one bonus here, by the way, when it comes to communication and having successful relationships. One thing I've learned is don't react. So if I immediately feel emotional or reactionary, I typically stop and I indicate that I'd like to return to this conversation. I don't express what I'm feeling in that moment because feelings change quickly. We take a deep breath. We have feelings, but we're not our feelings, and we don't want to react from those feelings. And then if we need a little pause, no problem. Take a pause. If we want to come back to this, or in that moment, if you could see the positive intent, we align, and we speak their language. I hope this was helpful for you. I really appreciate your time sharing it with me. Give me a shout out in the replay if you're watching, and let us know what you think, what you thought of this. And I hope to see you soon at some of our workshops here at RochesterWorks. We have a lot of great workshops, and we even have online material available for you through our e-learning at RochesterWorks.org. I'm sorry. And we also have courses you can take through Coursera. You can just email RochesterWorks, and the email is Coursera@RochesterWorks.org. See if there's some communication courses out there that you might want to take, even short ones. I hope this was helpful. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Take care.